Well, good morning, guys, and welcome to the Collins Family Urban Homestead. My name is Larry Collins. I'm going to start out this morning with just kind of a brief intro. It's kind of FYI. I'm sorry I didn't post a video last week. My job had me going out of town, so I had to go. I went to Pennsylvania for about a week, and so I had to go there. We had some fun things happen. We had a pretty good windstorm come through that blew some shingles up off the top of the house. Did a little bit of damage to the garden. I'll show you that in a little bit. And I kind of wanted, and yesterday, today's Sunday morning, July the 19th. Tomorrow is actually my 35th wedding anniversary. So we took some time yesterday, went on a little bit of a day trip, road trip kind of deal. And we live in North Texas, up in the DFW area. We drove up to Tyler, Texas, and all the way up to Crockett and Lufkin, and drove over to Louisiana and went through the David Crockett National Forest, the Angeline National Forest, went to Sam Rayburn and Toledo Bend Reservoirs, drove across those, and just had a good day of talking and planning and stuff like that, and kind of doing some thoughts of long range goal planning, and where we want to go in the future, and even some of the more shorter term of what we kind of want to do. So just kind of bring you up to date on and kind of general plans of what we wanted, and let me give you a little bit of a brief history also. If you've been following along, you know I've got 3 ducks and we've got a handful of chickens. Oh, and speaking of chickens, one of my hens died while I was gone. One of the things about this last week was temperatures were hitting triple digits or real close to it. Heat index is definitely all in the triple digits. So it was a pretty hot and humid week while I was gone. So we ended up losing one hen, and part of the reason we're raising some more chicks, this is my brooder here. I've got 5 chicks in there. I got the chicken tractor out there that's got, I think there's 7 in there, although 4 of them are roosters and they're going to be going to freezer camp. I'll show you those guys in here in a little while, just to kind of give an update on them, but they're definitely at about the size that they need to be. They need to be processed. But this whole bird adventure and having animals on the homestead kind of changes plans a bit, and it's for the last year, which is when we really added animals to the homestead other than our dog. Kind of you don't realize how much that changes. So first thing we got were the ducks, and these are 2 khakis and an Indian runner, and I mean, they're good, but that made me put up some fencing and stuff. Took time away from the garden. Prior to getting the birds, everything was all about the garden, and the focus has switched away from the garden onto birds. So we got the ducks. They're a little over a year old now, and really they've just started. This heat for ducks and chickens both has reduced the egg laying possibility. The ducks are kind of going through a phase of a couple of days not having any eggs, and maybe 1 egg a day, where up to this point they've been doing like 2 eggs a day consistently. But they've been pretty hardy. I like the ducks. I like having the ducks, and that's kind of the future where I want to go. And I'll get to that in a minute. But the chickens, those were actually, someone was selling meat chickens on Craigslist, and they are an actual hatchery, but she said she had bought them from, they were leftovers from Tractor Supply that she had bought. And the ones I have, and there were a bunch of them that were Cornish cross that we processed, but some of them were just not the same size. They were significantly smaller. So they ended up being what I currently have. They are a large white chicken, but they're not Cornish cross. I don't think they're giant whites either. I had thought that before. The rooster looks like a giant white, but their legs are solid yellow. And the chicks have come out yellow with clean legs, whereas if you look at the website, the giant whites come out more on a brownish color. whereas these are just pure yellow. So I think they may be Wyandottes. Still not 100% sure, but I didn't plan on really having a chicken flock. I wanted more of a duck flock, and that's still kind of the plans in the future, because I think they're a little bit more self-sustainable going forward, because I can raise meat ducks, and that's kind of the plan. What I want to do is build a run and a duck house. And I want to get like 10 female pecans and 1 drake, and then hatch out their eggs for meat, and be able to do that throughout the year instead of going and buying meat chickens every few weeks or so. I'd rather just go ahead and hatch my own and raise them up from here without having to go spend the money to go buy them. And it's going to make a bigger initial investment, because Murray McMurray Hatchery jumbo pekin ducks are I think they're $8 for the males and $9 something for the females. So it's not cheap, but it's an initial investment, and then we'll go from there. So, but the plan was initially to, I was working on getting the birds. I want to get ducks, I want to get quail, and I want to get rabbits down the road. But as we were talking yesterday, because I put all the garden stuff, I mean, I've planted a garden and it's fully planted, but I really don't have enough space to do everything I want to do. So I think we're going to change focus. I'm still going to build some infrastructure and get the infrastructure in place I need for ducks and quails and rabbit, but not necessarily work on getting those on the homestead just yet. We're going to build those. Those are going to be down the road plans. But I think I need to turn my focus to building more garden beds, and that's where we're going to go there, because I mean, it's coming up fall. I've got three beds, and we'll take a look at those here in a little bit. But I really need to start thinking about planning fall garden. I know what I'm going to do on initial stuff, but like for one of the things this year is kind of different. Typically the squash would be dead by now because of the vine borers and the squash bugs. It would come in and wipe everything out. And this year, I've harvested over 50 pounds of squash. It's been an amazing harvest of squash this year. And I've not seen a single squash bug. Knock on wood or whatever there. It's been great. The tomatoes, I think I'm going to do those a little differently next year. And the green beans were just a flat-out failure, and I'll show you those here in a little bit. I'm looking at them now, and they're all brown. So we'll kind of take a look at that. So going forward, the focus, I'm going to switch over and probably build some more garden beds. I need to get those built, and that's going to cost money. It's one of those. It's like finances, right? Where are you going to spend your money at? Where are you going to spend your time at? The infrastructure for the birds and the rabbits, I can still do some of that simply because I've got free materials already on hand. I want to build a couple of beds like I currently have, but I'll probably also build some garden beds that are from pallet wood. I get pallets in work where I can pick up no problem. I've got a bunch of them already broken apart, ready to go. So we'll probably build a few like that I know fully well aware are temporary, and then we'll spend the money to build a couple of the regular beds as well. So we'll still show the chickens and the ducks and stuff. I'm not going to add more of them to the homestead just yet. We're going to push that off a bit. We're going to get all the infrastructure in place first, and then come back and do that. So with the teenagers that I'm kind of looking at over there, the 4 roosters are going to go to freezer camp probably in the next couple of weeks. That's when I've got the time to actually set stuff up and get them done. And then I'm going to take my 1 big rooster. He's going to go in the chicken tractor, and I'm going to put all the hens into the coop and let them acclimate as a flock, and let the couple of hens that are left in there, let them kind of heal up because they're definitely starting to miss a lot of feathers and stuff on their back. And kind of separate them for a little bit and let them develop as a flock before I add him back in. And in here I've got 5 more chicks in there. We've still got to let them get a bit bigger before they get to start to determine which ones are roosters and which ones are hens. I'm also in the process of building a second chicken tractor as well. Yes, these guys will probably go in it, but it'll also be for future reference as well. That's one of those future projects I want to do. I'll kind of walk around that here in a little bit, but I kind of want to give a quick intro. This is a Sunday morning. I'm still watching the sunrise come up. Got good lighting right now, so that's kind of where we're at. So let's go take a look at the garden and do a quick garden tour. I think I dropped my thing down here. Oh, no. So let's go take a quick garden tour. So that kind of gives you an idea just how much growth the chicks have gotten. They have definitely got pretty good size, fully feathered out, and I keep dropping stuff. Hold on 1 second. Yeah, so they're definitely big enough to be going into a chicken tractor. They're fully feathered, and it's hot enough here. So, as a matter of fact, I need to take all the heating stuff out of there, but. Here is the chicken tractor that I'm in the process of building. So, being this is old, wood I got for free. It's not the most optimal kind of wood. If you take a real close look, you can kind of see some of it is bowed, especially over here. You can kind of see the bowing and stuff, and it's not real good, but it gets the job done. So this is a little over 10 foot, a little over 5 foot wide. This brace here is at 6 foot, so I can put the panels on it. Again, it'll look like the one back there when it gets done. So that's the chicken tractor there that's in progress, and you can kind of see these guys are getting big. You see how big those guys are getting right there? I got one of these guys that's got something wrong with his leg. He just doesn't get around. He still gets out here and gets food and water and all that kind of fun stuff, but he's just got kind of messed up. But he is a rooster, and he will be going to freezer camp here pretty quick. But these are definitely at that time where I can't spend any more time trying to get them to size, because I don't think they're going to get a whole lot bigger. And so over here, we're now looking at the tomatoes. They've definitely, while I was gone, we got a lot of dead leaves. I need to go in here and prune a lot of these and get them knocked back, but they're still pretty good, pretty good size. These are Amish pace, which are an indeterminate variety, so they're going to continue getting bigger. Now, one thing we did have, I told you we had a windstorm earlier. So these guys have all got this, let me just flip this around to do this. Up to here we got all this Hornova netting on most of these, but back here I've got this cattle panel as a trellis here, and I like this. Now I'm using, this is 1/2 inch conduit for stuff. When that wind came through, it came this way, and you can kind of see here, they took this whole trellis and bent it that way. And you can kind of see the direction, and I definitely got to go through here and do some work and get some of this stuff all tied up. And there are definitely some tomatoes on here that are ready to be picked. We have picked 23 to 26 pounds of tomatoes already, It's really not enough yet. We'll see how many we have by the end of the year. And yes, I'm kind of anal, and I actually weigh every harvest when it comes in. So that's been doing good. This is not untypical for the tomatoes to be looking like this here in mid-July. Now my green beans, this is what I'm calling a complete total failure. These guys, I'm at that point, these guys are going to get ripped out. We're not getting anything from these, and so we'll kind of go from there. The squash, we're mid-July and we're full-blown, yellow crookneck squash. Like I said, we've harvested well over 50 pounds already. Got more in there. I've probably got a couple I can go pick right now, and we'll kind of let them go. Oh, good. If you saw that, there's a bee flying up in there. That's always a good thing, right? So that's doing really well. We've got plenty of that to go. I probably need to come plant something here. This is our bunching onions I had done. Oh, well, I'm thinking about, yeah, this didn't, I'm doing away with these guys. The whole sip garden stuff, I've had success with it in the past. I'm not sure. I think the potting soil, the potting mix I got this last time, I think that's the problem. The mix is just not growing. Now, the other thing is those were seriously root-bound tomatoes also. So, but up in the front, they've not done real well as well. So chives are doing great. I can't complain about the chives here at all. Need to replant that. This basil. So, I told you I was gone for a week. Gave my wife, told her to go ahead and water the entire garden. I failed to mention, oh, by the way, go ahead and go water these. When I came back, these were shriveled up. Like, okay, they're like, at first look, I like, okay, they look like they're dead. I went ahead and watered it, and they came right back the next morning. So they're doing fine. I harvested a bunch of them, cut them back yesterday. Got a good 2.5 ounces of basil off of them, and so those are doing pretty good. This guy, like I said, I'm kind of done with this. We'll get that one tomato off of there. We'll come back in here with some type of herbs or something. I need to refresh some of these beds, put some kind of fertilizer or something in them, and then we'll go forward. One of the things I'm going to do over here, so I'm going to come back in here on the green beans. Once I clear all these guys off, I think I'm going to try planting carrots and beets in here and do it half and fill the entire bed up with those. And hopefully I'm going to remove all the mulch and stuff off there, because I don't know if this was a timing issue. If it's something with the straw, there was, if the straw had been sprayed or what was going on with that. So I'll try another crop, throw some fertilizer to it and stuff, and we'll see what happens. Now, the other one that's kind of cool going on here, I've let this kind of go. I do need to get out here and see what I can do about trellising him up, but let me turn you around and show you this guy. So that is a volunteer Sweet 100 cherry tomato. Doesn't have a ton of flowers or anything on it, but I do want to get him trellised up and see if he can start producing some tomatoes. Yeah, he's actually the healthiest tomato plant I currently have, and he's just a volunteer. Chickens are still put up, the ducks are still put up. I haven't gotten out here to take care of them yet. So that's can I get back out here out of the sun before I get... So that's just the garden tour for this morning. Like I said, it's been a good weekend. 35th wedding anniversary. The official date is tomorrow, the 20th. But like I said, we took yesterday and took a good long road trip. Had a business trip last weekend. That's why there was no video out last weekend. So that's where we're at right now. It's kind of plans for where we're going to be going in the future. and with all of that fun stuff, that's where we're at. So God bless. If you like this, please hit the like and subscribe button. We greatly appreciate it. Leave comments in the down below, and God bless, and we'll see you on the next video.